Hello, let's get the show on the road, folks. The View from Alexandria, it's in broadcasting cam. We thank those folks for that. On Texas Street, we see visibility reduced, low overcast, and it is raining in town as well as other places in Sinlock. Going down to Stellies, not as much in that direction, but we see the overcast. So rain's not far away from you. And then Leesville, back in that direction, see visibility reduced. We're looking at it's a warm range, 70 as opposed to a few weeks ago when we had that snow. Low overcast with us over in Leesville. And so the weather headlines. Thursday is rain and storms. Let's get that over with before we look at this. And I'm going to describe your weekend as tremendous. Yeah, it's one of those weekends. And then warm next week. So we got all that coming up in the 7-day forecast. Let's check out the radar. We see two bands of convection right here on the larger scale. Let me put the markers on here. The lead band right here, this is associated with kind of a prefrontal trough or a wind shift or some type or a convergence zone back off to the northwest. This is the cold front, if you want to call it that. It will make a little difference. And so we got, again, two boundaries. And so two separate lines of convection. And I'll zoom in a little bit here and we'll take a look and see what's happening as far as where the stronger weather is. Let's look at the lead band first in that direction. And we can see some storms over in Avoyelles Parish. We're also looking at some in Rapides in the metro area. In fact, nothing too bad. Let's go down to the southwest. Looks like a little bit heavier action down in Evangeline Parish, extended in just to the west of Eunice, right in there. So let me go ahead and kind of stop right there. That's what we're looking at as far as the best, heaviest weather right now. And so, again, some very heavy rainfall weather. You see some lightning strikes, and from time to time, I've seen one or two of these storms especially down to the southwest between here and Lake Charles and the other side of Lake Charles, have a little bit of rotation with them. Now let's look at the other band to the northwest where we still have some severe potential with this. And if what captures my eye is this right here. So this is a pretty heavy part running just from the west and northwest of Natchitoches right up there through looks like I-49, and then points southeastward, southwestward through Manny and down toward Negrete and Toledo Bend down. So that's the second band that we're looking at there. All right, so let's check out things as far as the features. Here's that front I was talking about. This is where the second band is. You can see the other band, the lead band, out ahead of it, again, along a surface convergence or low-level convergence zone there. This front will move through, kind of clean things out pretty quickly by early in the morning and bring a little cooler air. Futurecast kind of stepping you through now the next 36 to 48 hours. By 7 o'clock, the frontal band will be back up to the just to the northwest of us. And as we go in, say, the 10 o'clock hour, that will shift through the metro area, Alexandria, Pineville, and then we'll see at least a broken band off to the southeast of us and east of us across portions of Catahoula, Concordia, Avoyelles, Evangeline, and St. Landry. And then that's going to kind of rock and roll for a little while. This is midnight. We still got action in those same parishes that I just mentioned. And then finally it gets cleaned out overnight and into tomorrow morning. So Friday, back to work and school. We've got, can't rule out a stray shower, but no, nothing too terrible. And then throughout the rest of the day, Friday, especially as we get into the PM hours, I think things are looking pretty good. Some of that little training in Avoyelles and Catahoula, Concordia, Evangeline, St. Landry could lead to 1 to 3 inches of rain about the next 6 to 12 hours. All right, Futurecast coming back into Saturday throughout the day there. Things looking good for your Saturday. Again, part of that wonderful weekend that we've got in store for us. Severe potential remains across the area. Storm Prediction Center did send out a discussion a while ago saying there was a 20% chance that they would put out a watch with this. Nothing else on that so far. So there's still some potential remaining in the atmosphere. So I'll go to my bar graphs. You see none of the bars are very high. They're all in the limited category right through here. That includes levels 1 and 2 from the Storm Prediction Center, marginal and slight. And so that's what we're looking at here with that. You see, everything does have a little bit flood, hail, and tornado are all pretty low. The wind looks like if we do have a severe threat, the wind is mainly going to be the thing that we'll be looking for. There'll be thunderstorm gusts. So there's that 2 out of 5 through midnight. One of the key strengths of this is the vertical wind profile is pretty favorable, both at the lower levels and through a deep layer of the atmosphere. But there's a couple of key weaknesses that we've got to balance that with. Instability, that would be how much juice or how much fuel do we have for the updraft in the storm. How much octane do we have in that fuel? All right. And then the forcing from the dynamic agent aloft that's actually creating all this stuff. Much of that is going to the north of us. And so those are a couple of key weaknesses that are keeping this threat level in a limited category as far as we can tell right now. So most of us will see the wind being the more common mode at a 15%. That's within a probability analysis that the Storm Prediction Center does with all the research that they do. They go back and look at past events, correlate it with current parameters and that kind of thing. So within 25 miles of a point in Cenla, your home, school, work, there's a 15% chance of an occurrence of a damaging wind that would be associated with a wind speed of 60 miles per hour or more, or a measured wind gust to that level. Hail is less than 5%. Tornado is about 2 to 5%. So we can't rule that out. As I said, I have seen a storm or two pose a little bit of rotation across the area. So monitor your weather sources. Continue to do that. So the 7-day forecast now, 20% in the AM Friday as things clean out quickly overnight. And there's your beautiful weekend. Clear skies at night, mostly sunny during the days. The mornings will be kind of chilly, but compared to what we've seen earlier this month, not too bad there. 67, 72 for your highs. And then going into Monday, we start to see a little bit more clouds, partly cloudy. And notice the mild temperature regime continues all the way through next Thursday with highs well into the 70s. Somebody could, pray tell, could threaten 80 degrees one of those days next week. And lows are really up there too, 60 and 64. We should be around 40 for lows around that time, and highs should be around 62 or 63, something like that. So that's well above the norm. And I do have some token rain chances in 10% Tuesday, 20% Wednesday, and into Thursday with an increase in clouds. There'll be a little bit of a weak onshore flow from the Gulf of Mexico, so I'd like to keep myself covered, at least with mentioning some low-end rain chances. And where is the cold air? Well, we don't see it here through that 7-day forecast. Now, what about beyond the 7-day? We do see an area where below normal temperatures once again are expected across a good part of the United States. And notice how that kind of dips into the plains and the lee side of the Rockies right through there. We'll have to watch this after the 7-day forecast to see if we're not going to have another change toward colder conditions or something like that. Even if we do, I don't see anything like what we had back earlier this month when we had the snow and temperatures in the single numbers to the south with a deep snowpack. We don't see that returning, but we'll keep our eyes on everything because sometimes you get fooled, doesn't it? The weather sometimes fools us, doesn't it? All right, so that's it from me. Nick Miculus will be back with you in the morning with a live stream, and I'll be back during the PM hours, and we'll both be monitoring the weather situation this Thursday evening for severe potential, and we'll be on informing folks if something happens. All right, take care and have a just a fantastic Friday.